So now we're going to talk about using the scales that we know to play intervals and arpeggios. Intervals are how we can think of the relationship between two notes. So if we're playing G major, the relationship between those two first notes, or the relationship between those first three notes. The way that we can really get intervals out and the way that we describe them is by calling them numbers. So it can be useful to play just your basic major scale that you already know and say numbers out loud, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can be looking at your fingers because the goal of saying the numbers is remembering exactly where each number is compared to the other numbers. So for example, if we said play 1 3 7 4, we could, if we do this exercise a lot and really get those numbers down, we can know that 1 3 7 4 is and we can do bigger combinations like 1 3 7 4 2 5 9. All right, 1 3 7 4 2 5 9. And we can do tons of combinations. Songs are made up of intervals. So once we get the feeling for intervals, it can help us learn any of the songs we're going for. But the most important one that I want to work on now is what's called an arpeggio. An arpeggio are the notes of a chord. So the notes of our chord are always the notes in a scale, but in a certain order. A chord just means multiple notes at the same time, but most chords, as we're starting out, there's different kinds of chords, but most chords as we're starting out use the intervals that are odd. 1 3 5. So play 1 3 5. Let's add the seventh chord, the seventh note. That would be a seventh chord arpeggio. And what I mean specifically is a G major, because that's the key that we're in, G major seventh arpeggio. 1 3 5 7. So we've just played every other note in the scale, right? We skipped the evens. 1, skip 2, 3, skip 4, 5, skip 6, 7, and then we're done. But this exercise, I want to go up the odd numbers and then down the even numbers. So we'll go 1, 3, 5, 7, and then we'll go to 8, 8, 6, 4, 2. Don't forget, this whole time we should be paying attention to one finger per fret, and we should be using every other finger on our right hand. So up the odd numbers, down the even numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2. And you can set a metronome. I would say start at 60 beats per minute. But do what feels good. Don't go faster than feels comfortable. I'm going to set mine to 60 and play that as a cycle. So 3, 5, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2. Practice that a bunch. Once you get super solid on that, you can speed up the metronome in small increments. Don't jump from 60 to 200, but in small increments, maybe by fives. And then the next section, we want to arpeggio the other way. So that time we went up 1, 3, 5, 7, up the odd numbers and down the even numbers. This time we're going to go up the even numbers and down the odd numbers, which means we start on 2 and we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 5, 3, 1. With the metronome in a cycle. Again. and that's your arpeggio. You can do the exact same thing with minor scales. So we'll do up the odd numbers, we'll do it in A minor, up the odd numbers, down the even numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2. Make sure before you get to these minor arpeggios, pause the video and practice those major ones. Make sure you get the major ones right. First, get into practice mode on that, then come back here and set the metronome. Same thing in minor. Oh, and there you go. That's my mistake. Here we go, one more time. And then we can go 2, 4, 6, 8. So up the evens, down the odds. 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 5, 3, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 5, 3, 1. And that's arpeggios and intervals.